and a comic book artist and City Tech professor, shows how urban life and art collide on the page. Stay with us, it's Urban U.
I would best describe myself as someone who is a storyteller working in comics. All of my work in World War III Illustrated specifically has been narratives about life in New York, from the perspective of being a Latino American, born here, a child of an immigrant. My first comic in World War III Illustrated in 1991 was about the Iraq War. The first time I was published was really magical. We were at Tower Records and we were at Forbidden Planet. To walk down the street and see the cover of the issue that you're in, or to walk into a place and see someone physically thumbing through it, there's nothing like it. I think I've been chasing that feeling ever since. My series Marley Davidson Bronx Exorcist is a more allegorical story that really is me trying to use metaphors in horror, in genre, to speak to our time. The first issue was 1995. That was largely self-published and self-distributed. This was like me and my friends getting together, physically doing our paste up, going to Kinko's, making the copies, and then literally me going hat in hand to like Pep Boys and saying, hey, you've got a magazine rack. You mind if you guys don't have any comics, but you carry Marley Davidson? Cartoons are inherently an abstraction. They're making something cartoony, for lack of a better way of saying it. The way I've done it in World War III Illustrated is I use this very almost Disney style of these characters, and I tell these really terrible stories. And that's the way I get to invite the reader in and then have my cake and eat it too and talk about something serious and get them to stick around. Comic books are a very solitary activity. We don't get applause, we don't get to work it out in front of people. We kind of do it, we present it to people, and they either love it or hate it. Your friendship with other artists is very important. Every semester at the Graduate Center, we try to have at least a couple of what we call draw jams. The draw jam is an opportunity for people across CUNY to come together and share their love of comics and drawing. Some people are working on very tight sequential stuff that they have an idea for that's more comic book-like and graphic memoir-like in nature. Some folks are just sort of dealing with sort of general sort of illustration about trying to express something ineffable about their research or the thing they're working on at this time. Part it's really just to connect and be in each other's presence. This mural was a result of one of the last draw jams. There was, a lot of, anxiety and concern after the attacks in Gaza and the response to the attacks versus Israel, and basically a lot of people just got together to sort of let their feelings sort of out onto a sheet of paper. You could call it therapy, you could call it all kinds of things, but it's basically just people making art and getting that sort of energy out of themselves as opposed to holding it in. The draw jams have been very important to me because certainly coming out of the pandemic, the community we had built in New York around comics really got fractured again. Having a draw jam and providing a place for people to draw together has been incredibly cathartic. It's important professionally. People connect there, and maybe that's how you find the next person you're going to collaborate with. The project I'm working on now is Urban Scrimmage, and it is the first true nonfiction thing I have ever attempted. I didn't have the modality or the tools to really do nonfiction until I came to the Graduate Center and came to the Biography and Memoir program. And then I started to figure out, thanks to the work of really good professors, they were able to help me wrestle with the ethics and the framework that I needed to tell basically a documentary in comics. The South Bronx informs what I do because it was very much the place where I met the world. I was pretty much born and raised there and lived there until I was in my early 20s. And I lived there during a lot of the devastation of the arson fires. So that's now making its way into the focal point of the graphic memoir that I'm working at. It sort of tracks our move from the tenements when we were in the most peril, my mother and I, to when we moved to the housing projects. This project is really me trying to take a factual look at the events of my life and put them together on paper so that they stand not only as a historical record, but that they speak to my generation and my peers and my family and the people I know and the time we lived in. As I tell my students, you can fail at something you hate, so pursue the thing that you like. I want to keep building upon the stuff I've done at World War III Illustrated and turn that into a more cohesive body of work that people can return to and get some understanding about the world as I see it. That's my mission as an artist.
Thanks for watching and for being part of the CUNY community on Urban U.